Episode 2, The Farmer Whose Crops Died Before the Greatest Harvest. Hook.
What if the worst season of your life was actually preparing you for the greatest blessing you could never imagine?
What if every closed door, every disappointment,
every tear you cried was God abandoning you, but God protecting you?
This is the story of a poor farmer who watched every crop in his field die. His neighbors laughed. His family lost hope. But years later, the same people who mocked him stood in line, begging him for help.
Because sometimes God has to empty your hands before he can fill them with something greater.
Long ago, beyond the rolling hills of the great savannah, there stood a quiet farming village where every family depended on the land.
Rain meant life. Sunshine meant hope. Harvest meant survival.
Among the villagers lived a humble farmer named Jabari. He wasn't wealthy. He owned only a small piece of land that had belonged to his grandfather. Every year he planted millet, corn, and beans. Every year he prayed before placing the first seed into the soil.
Lord, he whispered, whether my harvest is large or small, let my heart always trust you.
His neighbors often laughed. Prayer doesn't grow crops, they would say. Hard work does. Jabari only smiled. I can work the soil, he replied, but only God can make a seed grow.
That year, the rains came exactly on time. The fields turned green. The village celebrated. Everyone believed it would be the greatest harvest in years.
Then, without warning, the sky changed. Dark clouds disappeared. The rivers shrank. The wind carried nothing but dust.
Day after day, week after week, the rain never returned. The earth cracked beneath the blazing sun. One by one, the crops began to wither. The leaves curled into themselves. The stalks turned brown. Soon, the entire village stood helpless as months of hard work died before their eyes. Jabari walked through his field every evening. He touched the dry soil. He held dead plants in his hands. Still, he prayed. One afternoon, his wife asked the question he feared most. What if God isn't listening?
Jabari looked across the empty field. I don't believe God has stopped listening. I believe he's doing something I can't yet understand.
But faith became harder every day.
Soon there was nothing left to harvest, nothing left to sell, nothing left to eat.
The villagers blamed God. Others blamed bad luck. Some packed their belongings and abandoned the village forever. Even Jabari wondered, Lord, have you forgotten me?
One morning, while gathering firewood at the edge of his dying field, Jabari noticed something strange.
A tiny green plant was growing where no crops had survived.
It wasn't millet. It wasn't corn. It was a wild tree sapling. Most farmers would have pulled it from the ground. Instead, Jabari left it alone. Every few days, he carried a small bucket of water from a distant stream just to keep the young tree alive.
His neighbors laughed harder than ever.
You can't feed your family with a tree. You're re-wasting precious water. But Jabari answered quietly.
If God allowed it to grow here, perhaps he has a reason.
Years passed. The famine ended. People slowly rebuilt their farms. Jabari, little tree, grew taller, then taller still. Its branches stretched across his field, casting cool shade over the dry earth. One summer, travelers stopped beneath the tree to escape the burning sun.
They noticed something unusual. Bright golden fruit hung from every branch. Fruit unlike anything they had ever seen.
Its sweetness spread quickly through nearby kingdoms. Merchants traveled for days just to buy it.
They offered silver, gold, livestock.
Soon Jabari's small farm became the busiest place in the region. The tree produced fruit year after year. Its seeds grew nowhere else. People who had once mocked him now asked permission just to gather its fallen fruit. One afternoon, an elderly traveler arrived, carrying an old leather journal. After studying the tree, he smiled. I've searched my entire life for this. Jabari looked confused. What kind of tree is it? The old man answered.
This tree nearly disappeared from the earth generations ago. Its fruit heals sickness. Its wood never rots.
Its seeds are worth more than gold. Then he looked directly at Jabari. If the drought had never destroyed your crops, you would have cut this tree down before it ever had a chance to grow. Jabari stood speechless. Suddenly, every painful season made sense.
The drought hadn't ruined his future. It had protected it.
God had removed one harvest to prepare another that would bless generations.
Years later, Jabari planted hundreds of trees across the valley. No family went hungry again.
Travelers came from distant lands seeking both the fruit and the wisdom of the farmer who never stopped believing.
Whenever someone asked how he became so blessed, Jabari would smile and point toward the oldest tree.
I thought God had taken everything from me, but he was only making room for something greater. So remember this.
Not every loss is a punishment. Not every delay is rejection. Sometimes the field must become empty before heaven plants the seed that will change your life forever. When everything around you seems to be dying, don't stop believing. The season you call failure may be the very season God calls preparation.
If this story encouraged you, subscribe for more unforgettable folktales filled with hope, wisdom, and faith.
Share this story with someone who feels like they're living through a season of loss.
They may be standing one step away from the greatest harvest of their life.